Hi guys, what I'm doing this morning I was just tidying off the old sealant that was around the window seal here, and I went to research the easiest or something to assist to get rid of the putty sealant, the easiest way to help soften it and to remove it. And one of the suggestions that came up was to use WD-40. So I've sprayed a little bit around the edge and it comes up a real treat. So I'll show you how this has helped me to remove the putty seal around the window here. So as you can see, it's come up nice and clean all the way along. I have used a little bit up on the top here, and then scraped it off as soon as it became soft. So I'll just be wiping that down now with a cloth, a rag with a bit of WD-40 on it to help remove those little stubborn little bits. But yeah, it comes up, looks nice and clean. Using your tip of your thumb nail is really useful as well, just to help to, because this is like an oil base as well. I'll have to wash this plastic down with soapy water or some alcohol type liquid to remove the oily lubricant that'll be left on the surface. So there we are guys, I thought I'd better show you this little bit before I finish off screwing the stainless steel screws into the end there. So as you can see, I've cleaned this up really well, and the beading strip here as well, and I put plenty of silicone, which I'll have to, across there, so hopefully I should be able to wipe some of the excess off in that end there. I know I've just found out you can actually buy tape with this putty sealant on it, and just put a tape run on it and then the beading. But I feel as if I can get this into some of the cracks and stuff like that, so it'll do the same job, but it's been a bit more fiddly with this. I'm sure the tape putty would have been better, but anyway, I've got to do this before the weather changes, and hopefully this will finish the job with sealing the back end of this caravan anyway. Cheers guys. Right guys, if you're wondering how to remove all that excess on the top there, there is a little secret I found out by spraying a bit of liquid and water over the top of it. Then just wipe it off. And as you wipe it off, turn the cloth, keep turning the cloth, then you can virtually peel that off. It'll just come off the cloth. I think I will need to clean a little bit more. I have gone over the top of the sealant, if I say that. Bit OTT, never mind. We'll wipe the bottom bit and that's it then. Oh, there we are. That back beading's on, so I temporarily put the window back with a seal in case the weather changes. And after a whole day now, with doors open and everything, so it's had like a day and a half then, sorry. The timbers are surprisingly good. They're drying out, so I might have to treat them with something, but there's still a bit of dampness, a bit of moisture left in the timbers, but they're drying out to great guns. You can see the colour changing as well, they're getting lighter and everything, so I'm very pleased with that. So roll on tomorrow, let's get some more building material so we can complete the van and put the back panels on, but we're not going to do that until the timbers are completely dry. And hopefully now, if there's a change in weather, that the seal has been done, that'll prevent more water coming in, so then that'll give me a chance to operate inside the caravan even if it is raining. Okay guys, any questions, you put your comments down and I'll do my best to get back, or any future tips. One tip I've learned today is that sealant, right? Although it's great to have it out in a tube and to put it in the crooks and crannies and everywhere else, it's brilliant like that, but the surplus is a job to get rid. So if you tend to put too much on, you've got to wipe it down. So use a little bit of that soapy water, wipe a bit down, stop, get rid of that, wipe a bit more. Just do not panic though, and just little bits at the time. I think the tape's a good idea, and so if I ever help doing somebody else doing this job, I definitely advise them to go and get some of that mastic tape with the putty sealant on it, and stick that and then the beading strip on it. It'll save you a lot of tidying up and cleaning up to do. I've got to wait for some of that to go off now so I can wipe it off again, most probably tomorrow if I don't get the materials I need. Cheers guys. Well, what's up guys? Well, I haven't done much today, right? The only thing I've done today is to source some additional insulation to replace the insulation that was damaged when we ripped it out. Also cut it down to fit the shape, the size, but also the thickness as well. We're in this sort of situation where getting sort of supplies is quite difficult at the moment in lockdown. So I had some 25mm and I needed 20mm. So my shed up the top of the garden is full of insulation particles. It's just everywhere, just trying to slice 5mm off the thickness of a saw. But it's helped, it's made a difference. I've been able to sort of cut that insulation to fit size and thickness wise. The timber's drying out really well, guys. So if you look at that timber, it's changed colour and it feels dry to the touch. I've got a few additional bits I'm going to do. I'm going to include some sort of brackets to some of the corners to make sure that they're strong as well, and extend sort of like an L bracket across there. Some of the other jobs I intend to do is to wipe this mouldy surface down now. I'll most probably wipe it using a sort of a warm bleachy water just to prevent the mould from coming back afterwards. So while the timber's in the process of drying out, and it does feel fairly dry to the touch now, this is after 2 days, I think I can afford an extra day anyway just to wipe it down, give that a chance to dry out as well with a bleachy sort of water. Sort of a light bleach wash, I think. A weak bleach wash. A weak bleach wash. Gosh, that's getting harder to say. And then leave that to dry, obviously. Put some preservative onto the timbers as well, because this timber looks very light in colour. I don't think it's had much preservative, or even when it was first installed. So I'll just give it some timber preservative. So I've got to source some of that. And then we'll be able then to prep it ready for the boards. Anyway guys, I've just removed the insulation away from the timber, and I'll just spend a couple of minutes now washing down the timber with a bleach warm water to reduce the mould, the return of the mould on the timber. So you're ready with the first couple of wipes. Some of this mould is coming off. There we are. I don't mind spending 5 minutes just wiping down the surface. Even smells nice in the caravan already. So hopefully that'll just reduce the risk of mould coming back. Okay, just add your comments. Cheers guys. Right, so a quick catch up. I've prepared a jar of this wood treatment. So I'm going to now apply some of that preservative onto the back of the caravan, and as you can see, it's a lovely day again. We've been fortunate, we've had about 6 days now of beautiful dry weather, so I haven't had a chance to check, see if my repair on the external beading has been successful. Usually in Wales we do have a fair bit of water, and I would have expected some rain by now, but anyway, as you can see, so far timbers have really dried out. I've wiped them all down with bleach, carried out some repairs. Put an additional piece of timber in there. Also put some L brackets in there and there. Screwed the remaining part of the original into the new bit as well. That strengthened it up. If you notice, I put some staples as well across there. Again, another L bracket, new staples, and along there as well to replace some of the others. So today's task is to get some preservative onto the timbers, let that dry, possibly 2 coats as well, because there's not much timbers to paint. There's about 5-10 minute job there. Wait for that to dry. Also remove the rubber seals as well, just so I can get right at the timbers there. But there we are, another job to do, and then hopefully later on today might even cut out the replacement panels for the wall as well, in readiness to stick them. I've just given it a first coat of that timber treatment, so it's darkened up since it dried out, so it really soaked in very well, so very pleased with that. So I'm going to leave that for some time now and tidy up and around the van, and hopefully get some of the boards out and ready to mark out to cut them. So if you notice, taking the rubber seal out as well, so we can put some treatment around the timbers in the window frame as well. But yeah, you can notice it's all darkened up a little bit because of the treatment it's received. Yeah, very pleased with that. So hopefully now we can get the boards marked out, ready to stick them to the insulation and the back wall. Okay guys, keep you posted. There we are, we'll just create a temporary table so we can use this table to help us sew up the new end panels. Dodgy legs, very dodgy legs on that. That's another what's up job there. Trappers, let's get the boards. So the 2 sheets arrived front to front like that, and a very good match in pattern. So we're gonna now take some measurements, so we're gonna use the 2 sheets. So that's the overall size with a window in the middle there. So you're going to use 1 sheet going down there for this bit, and then the other sheet for that bit. There, that's the plan of attack. So we've taken our measurement, which is 132. So we score a line across there and cut that section. That's 1/2. There's the first half. So you ready, Mr. Tristan? There we are. We've cut the 1 piece into 2, so that's a bit of a surplus piece. On the race. So yeah, we'll take that over to the caravan. We've worked out the pattern, so we'll have the same layout for the pattern as well as in the van. You can identify it from the shapes and make sure that you got the shapes pointing the right way. How hot it is in the caravan. I've only got the back window open, so I've decided to open that as well. It is a warm day, so there we are. Look at our progress so far. There we are, that panel in, so we're going to mark it on the other side now to cut out the window shape, or the shape of the window. So there we are, so we'll just take a pencil around here now and then mark out the shape, remove the board, and then go to our worktop and cut that section out. So that area is finished, but while it's here we'll also measure out the remaining part that we require as well, so we can cut that and take these measurements now. So there we are. Something else to do just before we go. Look at the sweat there, boys. Whew. Working in the caravan. Hot stuff, boys, hot stuff. It's beautiful smell here with the wood preserve. Whew. So it's nice fresh smell of wood preserve. There we are. We've tested it because we've had such lovely weather, and you can't believe the weather we're having for Wales. Having over a week's sunshine and glorious blue skies is just about amazing. So anyway, I had to run the hosepipe. So I ran the hosepipe over the back end of the caravan for about 5-10 minutes. Dry. Job's done. So it's all nice and dry up around there. So very happy. So we put the seal back in and everything. But what we've done now, we've just been preparing some timbers here as well, some offcuts of timbers, so we can use them as wedges. So once we put the boards up against there with the adhesive on them, that we can press them. So we're using some light frames going from the windows here across, using the backboard here with a long one going in there, some up from the floor coming up to there. So tomorrow you'll understand what I'm trying to say. And here are the boards that we've cut. All right, okay. Oh. Well, that's one of them. There's two halves to it, and yeah, they match. There's a pattern, so you got to make sure that the pattern's pointing. So we got everything pointing down, so we had it all down. This one's down, the corner one's up. So there we are. We'll keep the flow going, all pointing down, and then, so what, there's one in the corner pointing up, and that's it. Until tomorrow. Big day tomorrow. Lots of glue, lots of mess, knowing me as well. Just... Hi guys, this is it. This is the big day. It's the final push, where everything's going to go back in its place. So down here, I've got the end panels all cut up. You can see the shape of the windows. So I've got two of those, the largest one going from there to here. I've already marked some sort of guidelines down there as well. So we shall be doing this after lunch. And if you're wondering what all this timber is, they're going to be my props. So I'm going to have a little bit of a tidy up, pop the polystyrene back into the squares there, and then get ready to prime up the materials with the glue and stick it all together. We did have a bit of rain. Been waiting for rain and waiting for rain, and I don't have rain, and then today now I've had rain this morning. So everything's fine. It's all nice and dry up around here. All this is dried out really nice. So I'm very pleased with the additional add-ons I put in here to strengthen it. So there we are. Next phase, on to the gluing and fixing of the rear panels. Alright guys, I'm at the point. I'm going to start putting the polystyrene pieces back, put some adhesive on the back walls, push them up against. I've put my little props there. I've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I've got a plan for those, so they're going to help me span that. Okay, been nervous at this point. You only get one chance with all this sort of glue, and I'm a messy pup. So I'm going to try and be a tidy pup, okay? I keep telling myself, just get on with it, just get on with it. There we are. Put all the insulation back now. It's all looking pretty smart in there. So we're just going to have a hoover up, and then we'll apply some of the adhesive on the timbers and everywhere else. This is a line we'll be working to, so that piece will go up to there. And then the second piece once we've secured that. So there we are. Oh, looking forward. Let's get over and done with. The sun is out as well. Oh, cheers, boys. Yeah, the first board is up. We're just now going to help just support it. But the adhesive I'm using is pretty good. It just takes to it and sticks to it straight away. But I'm still going to use the extra bit of supports on the sides and across the middle there, just to make sure that it overnight cures and goes off reasonably well. The only little bit I've had a bit of excess. This is my nightmare with the using silicone. Yeah, it came on the bottom bit there. A little bit of excess came bulging out, so I'll have to wipe that up afterwards. So we've got the second panel to go in, and then it's always easy to have these quick release type clamps initially, just to hold it in its place, particularly when you need to try and work it in underneath here, underneath there, and also to clip on the bottom side of that edge on top of the skirting board. I'm smiling, I'm smiling. There we are. The panels are in place. All glued up, stapled where we can. Not down there, but on the window, down the bottom bit there on the skirtings. We've got a nice little beading to cover that. So these little bits of timber now are just pressing against it. We're going to leave it like that for tonight now. So there's not much pressure on it, but just that it's in contact with the glue. And then of course we put the new rubber seal around. So we put a new rubber seal around there. Unfortunately I had to use the old grey internal beading there. But make sure you line up the original holes, fix them, and then bring them down into position. Then it looks much better then. And in fact, just by chance, I started fitting them the upside down, so it looks like a nice clean grey beading now anyway. But there we are, guys. That is as good as it gets, and I'm very pleased with the job. Very, very pleased with the job. So what I'm going to do tomorrow now is finish off tidying up, removing these, and then start putting things back, the bunk, the head gear, and that's me. Job finish. I hope it's helped somebody else, but the big thing here is just get on and do it, and don't let that leak get any worse. Cheers, guys. Yes, guys. Happy face. Happy, very happy. I've spent the rest of the day reassembling everything and putting them back, and this is what the back end of the caravan looks like now. Way! Bunk back, bed, everything. Listen to this sound, listen to this sound. Hard as nails. And cupboards back as well. In there is perfect new panels. And in there, luckily, big tip for you guys, make sure you mark where you pulled out screws so they go back in the same place. So there we are, guys. I conclude. Very pleased. That's all I'm gonna do now is just hoover out, just wipe down some of the dusty surfaces, and the van is ready for camping. Oh, I can't wait. I know we're in lockdown at the moment and the weather's been absolutely superb. So this has been an excellent opportunity. There's a lot of things that you learn when you take a project like this on. A lot of it is to try and record what you take it off and where you're taking them off from. Little markers. I'm very pleased that I put a little pencil line, a very faint pencil line when this cupboard went back. So it went back exactly in the same spot, which made fitting this shelf much easier because it fitted straight into the gap that was left. Otherwise, if there was not enough gap, I think it's very important is to replace the seals of the windows, particularly if you've had a bit of leakage in as well. Just get a rubber seal in and put them in. They're easy to fit, they're already sealed up as well. You just roll it and it sort of opens up as you sort of put it down into place, but well worth putting the rubber seal in as well. Just looks nice and clean and tidy as well, and it does feel, when you close the window up, it does close very well. It seals up very well. A tricky bit is the cartridge windows, getting the measurements, the drop, the distances. So I've been checking on some of the other windows in around the van, so I've got a uniform drop at that sort of level there below the window, and then work from there up and make sure both sides, because if your van is not level, or taking a spirit level to it is not going to help unless your van is totally level. If you are going to use a spirit level around the place, make sure you put it out, establish the van is completely level before you start if you're going to use a spirit level. Otherwise, just use measurements that way, measurements that way, measurements that way, measurements that way, and you get your point. It's spot on. And try and match the same sort of measurements to the other end, so you'll soon work it out yourself very quickly. Okay, but best luck to anybody else taking on a challenge like this. Cheers, guys, and thank you to my son for helping me out. Being a second pair of hands, always useful having somebody in and around the place to just help you hold the other end or go get a few tools and bits and bobs. Cheers.